Welcome to the World of Warcraft races episode. We're going to talk about races in this episode. There's all sorts of different races, and a lot of them come from Night Elf. They're kind of the old immortal race that recently has not been immortal, so they are, they have to reproduce. But since then, they're different due to evolution. They have expanded throughout Azeroth and have mutated through evolution and come out with several different races. They are the typical, the proto hominid of Azeroth, and their features are very prominent with long ears and a purplish bluish skin tone and different colored skin. With the female is a lot smaller, but shares very similar characteristics of of colored hair and long ears. From there, we move on to the orcs, which are not known in Azeroth. They came through the dark portal and from another planet, just like the Draenei, but I'll get to that later. They are a green creature, very warlike creature, the male is very muscular, very heavy duty, but they share a characteristics very common between the female and the male, of green skin. This is a different hue than the night elf, which is more of a purplish, and this is more of a darker green and a lot more yellow in their skin. Again, the sexual dimorphism is very significant in in these uh, these races, but say if we did look at their bones, we would conclude that these are completely different races. You could say that this is similar to gorillas. The male gorilla is completely different on the skeletal side between the female. So, but they are a very warlike creature. The Draenei, they come from another planet, just like the orcs. I think it is the same planet, but again, they're a goat-like creature with the hooves and horns. These are not ears. Their skeleton system does show that these are actual calcified horns. You can see their ears are right here. Very docile. The female, again, very docile compared to the male. Very muscular. Very similar to like orcs, where the sexual dimorphism is very significant compared to something like the other night elf based creatures. And then we move on to the Pandarians, which is the new race in the Mist of Pandaria. They are evolved from bears, but unlike the other ones, they offer different races, which is really weird. So race is a very similar, different characteristics. So humans and dwarves are technically the same. They're humans, but the dwarves share a mutation that causes them to be smaller, and this mutation is now passed on through birth and all that stuff. So, and there's no more. You can't be a normal human from a dwarf pregnancy. But pandas, through the customization of genetics, we can get different hair colors that offer different characteristics. I think. I've been told. I don't know. The tail is the maybe not. There. Yeah, the female. I guess it's the female that has the tail, which is very different. Oh yeah, the female red panda is it's very a mutation. Probably later down in the roads, it will sprout out into a different set of pandas, just like the gnomes and the dwarfs. But the sexual dimorphism, again, really different, but not as different. They're just the male panda is a little bit bulkier compared to the female. It could be due to their diet and all that stuff. They are they do enjoy their alcohol. It could be that, but it's a very interesting feature that the female supports the longer tail, but not the male. They do spout a tail, a little puffball, but not a significant tail. It is like a horse tail, but not like a cat tail. And now we move on to the humans. of the journey to the let's go on to the Blood Elves. These are the most like the Night Elves. You know, the ears have popped up a little bit more, but they're the closest to the Night Elves, showing very similar characteristics of glowing eyes. And these are the Blood Elves are different. They're a different set. There's all sorts of different elves, but these are the major elves in the world of Azeroth. They feature they've been corrupted by the Sunwell or something. I forget what it is in the lore. You can look at it, but it's caused them to thirst for mana more compared to the average elf. There is, there's woodland elves and all that stuff. There is still elves in the Alliance that don't play a significant role, but the Blood Elves are the elves, besides the Night Elves, of the Horde. Again, much, they do the sexual dimorphism, they are small, but they are very similar compared to the Orcs, the Draenei, and all that stuff. As we work our way down, the Trolls share also a very similar characteristics of the Night Elves and the Elves with long ear, but they have developed a tusk-like teeth. It is very weird. It's hard to get into them, but it seems to come out from past their teeth. They're very interesting. They seem to not come like regular tusks, like a boar. A tusk on the boar come up from the teeth and shoot up, but these seem to come out of diagonal. Again, these are bottom tusks that seem to go down. These are not top tusks. It's very interesting, very interesting. And of course, the females show a lot smaller tusks, but the males also are extremely tall compared to other races. One of the taller races of the major races of World of Warcraft. Again, the sexual dimorphism is significant, but again, the male one is just a taller one. They share very similar characteristics of long ear and tusk, as the female does not show the significance of the tusk, but still has pointy ears. The goblins, again, another race not as closely related to the Night Elves, but probably a subset of trolls due to their green nature. They are from Azeroth compared to the orcs. So again, the greenness is just a coincidence, but they do share a very similar short stature like the gnomes and the dwarfs, so it's probably due to that, and to their mutation has caused them to be smaller, but their head be a little bit bigger than proportions, just like the gnomes. So their gnomes are, the heads are a lot bigger than the rest. We move on to the Taurens, a bovine race, a completely different race of Azeroth. It's the bovine creatures. The males do not seem to have necks. This hump is very weird. I haven't seen any bones of Taurens. They honor their dead and probably keep them in secret for that exact reason. But they're bovine, with hooves, bendable, opposable thumbs, and two fingers, I believe. The female, again, just a little bit smaller, less of a prominent hump than the male, but spouting a little bit more of a neck. Again, shows signs of horns and other very similar things. Again, the sexual dimorphism is significant, but it's not that significant where you could probably tell that through the bones that they are practically the same. There's just one is bigger than the other. You might think that this might be a mutation that caused it to be bigger, but it is the male. As we work our way to the humans now, these are the humans. I mean, you and me, you know what humans are, so it's self-explanatory. Blah blah blah. Dwarfs, though, are the mutation from the humans. So we got Night Elves, and then the humans, and then the dwarves, and then possibly gnomes, or humans, then gnomes. But again, they're very similar. It's really hard to tell apart due just to facial stuff. They're very similar between the male and female, same with the dwarves and the males. The undead are actually very interesting. They're a creature, zombie-like thing. It happened during the Scourge of the Lich King, and it caused the humans to rise up and fight. They don't show much muscular. They're skeletons. It could be magic holding their bones together, but they are very similar to humans. But they show, you know, they're slowing down. They're not as, there's no structure to their muscles. But it's a very interesting species. And then we wrap up with the worgen. Again, a similar to the humans, but a curse has happened to them where they become wolves. And it's very interesting. They do share similar characteristics of a human. That they, you know, there's their human counterpart, but this is what they look like when they're transformed due to the curse. So that'll wrap up races for you. I hope you find this video informative. It's very interesting that it seems to be the Night Elves are the proto being on Azeroth that sprout the humans, which sprout the undead, and the humans also sprout the dwarves and the gnomes. It's unclear on if the gnomes came from the dwarves or the gnomes came from the humans. Also, the Night Elves responsible for the Blood Elves and the Trolls. And is it possible that the goblins came from the Trolls, or is it a thing like the Night Elves where they came from that? You know. But it is just a coincidence that they are green. But thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Bye.